The ultimate Hot Toys collection setup. How do you build it? What does it even look like? What does the ultimate Hot Toys collection even mean? Well, today we're going to take a look at these lofty questions and provide some answers so you can build the ultimate Hot Toys collection setup for you. But before we get started, make sure to like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you're notified when content goes live here. That said, let's build your perfect Hot Toys collection. Thank you guys for joining me for another fun and hopefully educational video today. Today we're going to be talking about how to build the perfect Hot Toys collection setup for you. I'm going to use my, of course, personal experiences of 7 to 8 years in collecting Hot Toys and building a display that I'm very proud of, and of course my extensive body of work on YouTube and reacting to other collectors' collections who have done some amazing things that I think we can all aspire to. So today there's 5 steps that we're going to go over in order to build that perfect Hot Toys collection setup for you. The first is selecting figures and creating themes. The second being choosing the right display cases. Third, accessories, dioramas, and backdrops. Fourth, lighting and organization. And 5, curation versus expansion. Selecting figures and creating themes. I want to start with themes because there's something in our brain that craves order. There's something in our brain that craves organization and structure and something recognizable. And themes help you achieve that. So you look at Marvel, you look at Star Wars, you look at DC, you could even have a display case that's themed in something a little bit broader, such as movies and television, but something that can connect all the figures within a given display to make sure there's structure and thematic elements there that are consistent. So for my personal display, I have a Star Wars display case, I have a Marvel display case, I have a movie and television display case, and I have a video game display case, all with figures that fit under the specific theme of that display case. And I think for me, that allows my collection to feel like something that's very organized and streamlined and structured. And I think for people who are experiencing my collection, it allows them to recognize those themes and see the thought and effort put into it that makes it that much more enjoyable for everyone involved, me included. Themes also help us separate wants from needs, and they're a big part of the curation process, which we're going to discuss a little bit later in this video. When we're trying to decide which figures we actually want to buy, we have to determine a couple things. Firstly, how important is this character to your display? And are you satisfied with the quality that the figure has produced in a representation of that character? And of course, how that character is going to fit in to the overall theme that you've thus created for that display case where they're going to be displayed. Price and space are of course other considerations. Does the price of this figure allow you to feel confident in your purchase? Do you feel like you're getting a good value out of that purchase? And of course, space permitted. Do you have space to display that figure along with your other already existing collectibles? Choosing the right display cases is a difficult process. There are many options out there, some more efficient than others, but in general, the primary motive here is to buy display cases that are future-proof, meaning that whatever your collection looks like in a couple years or maybe longer than that from now, you have display cases to accommodate those needs. I have a video dedicated specifically to the best Hot Toys display cases that I'll link in the description below if you want a video specifically dedicated to that topic. But to summarize, you have a handful of options here. You have IKEA-based display options such as the Billy bookcase or the Boliden. You have Moduspace, Moducase display options, which are what my display cases are, which I would recommend. Or you have the custom routes such as the Costa cases, or if you want singular display cases, you could go with something like the Apex. I think one of the most important considerations that you need to decide early is whether you want a display case that is horizontal in nature or vertical in nature. It truly just depends on the aesthetic look that you're going for, because each offering is going to offer something a little bit different, more hopefully in alignment with what you're looking for. For me, Moduspace offers the most versatility. In full transparency, I do have an affiliate link with them that if you click that in the link in the description below, and if you buy something, I do get a small kickback for that, but I genuinely believe that for most collectors, they are the best display case option. You have the ability to customize them extensively considering they are stackable. You can order custom sized cases. If you want vertical, you can order the Moduspace Mono. If you want horizontal, you can build a custom display that looks super cool like my 6 165s that I have. So there's just a lot of versatility and customization there that I think a lot of the other offerings could potentially offer you, but not without a lot of DIY work. The philosophy that I live by is buy nice or buy twice. So I think if you can reasonably afford with the budget available to you, the display case option that's going to fit your needs in the long term, fulfill your ultimate fantasy of what your collection room and display could look like, I think you should target that option sooner rather than later so you don't unnecessarily spend money that's not going to build that forever display. Accessories, dioramas, and backdrops. Let's start with accessories. So accessories are items that accessorize your figure and essentially enhance the display by allowing the collector to recreate iconic moments from the big screen. So say Deadpool, for example, you have his katanas, which you could put in his hands and have him wielding them, or maybe the golden guns if you want to do some sort of other pose that again recreates a moment from the film or something that just you think looks cool. In general, as far as your display is concerned, I think accessories should be used sparingly. There are a lot of accessories that come in the box for most Hot Toys figures, but not all of them are going to be relevant to your personal display. For example, coming back to Deadpool, there's a baby pool and there's a head pool, but for me, I only really feel the need to maybe put dog pool along with Deadpool in my personal display. I think using too many accessories from your figure can clutter the overall display and overall make your collection look, again, less organized and less tidy. When I refer to dioramas, there are DIY custom dioramas that many collectors have created that are amazing works of art, but I'm mostly for this video referring to the scope of diorama display bases that are included with Hot Toys collectible figures. For these, I try to include these in my display as frequently as space would permit me to. I think they really do enhance the quality of a display pretty significantly because they give the character that much more life to them. Backdrops are super cool. These are a little bit more niche, more for the hardcore collectors who want to create the ultimate dynamic atmospheric display. They're not going to be for everyone just because of the amount of work involved or the cost involved should you go purchase it from a custom artist. Lighting is crucial. Lighting figures effectively can create figures in their best representation in the best light, so to speak. But conversely, lighting figures poorly can create poor representations that make you fall out of love with the collectible that you purchase. And I know I sound a little bit like a homer, but I love Moducase lighting. Moducase lights come with the display cases when you purchase them. I'm a fan of the pure white LED strips because I think they bring out the best qualities in the figure and they highlight the likenesses under the best lighting. You can also go with Luke lights for the IKEA cases such as the Blidden. Those are pretty inexpensive as well, and they do a great job showcasing and highlighting the realism of these figures. Organization is another crucial component. It ties into the thematic element that we discussed earlier, but organization more so refers to the idea or the concept of where you're placing these figures and how. Ideally, you should try to keep characters from the same universe close to one another. This creates a more orderly experience and just creates more structure in your display that I think is going to be more appealing to your brain. Try to avoid overcrowding and bunching because to me, this creates a display that's a little bit more claustrophobic, and to me, that's just not an ideal display. I like a little bit of space, I like a little bit of room to breathe for each figure, and I think overcrowding does the opposite of that. And this ties into our fifth and final tip: the everlasting internal conflict that is curation versus expansion. Curation refers to the process of whittling down your collection to only the essentials to accommodate the display case that you currently have. Expansion obviously refers to the concept of expanding your collection to expand for the addition of more collectibles should you desire them. But what I want everyone to recognize, including myself, is that there have never been more high quality 1/6 scale offerings than there are today. And there are probably only going to be more to come. It's important that each of us recognize that sometimes enough is enough, and we can't have everything, because if we could, we would overrun our houses and our bank account, and that wouldn't be productive for us long term. And this is a concept that I'm currently managing and struggling with myself, but in general, it's advisable that whatever your collection room space looks like, that you not try too often to expand outside of it, because it opens a can of worms and creates unhealthy habits that could affect other areas of your life negatively. I've fallen into this trap myself, and before you know it, you try to take over the whole house and turn it into your own personal museum. And collecting at this point can start to feel like a virus, infecting and taking over everything around you before it consumes your life and you in the process. Collecting Hot Toys is an amazing hobby and has amazing potential for personal fulfillment, but I think it's important that we recognize that it is a hobby and not our entire existence. And the final concept I want to leave you with is the curation process. So how does the curation process work exactly? In general, I find it helpful to use tiers. So if you're able to recognize what tier a certain character is, that identifies how important that character is to you and how important and meaningful they're going to be in your personal display. Tier 1 being the most important, tier 5 being the least important, and at that point you can start to whittle down figures that aren't as integral to your display so you can build the perfect representation of your journey and nostalgia for you. And that's that, guys. Those are my 5 tips for building the ultimate Hot Toys collection setup. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more, and click the notification bell so you're notified when content goes live here. If you have any thoughts on my suggestions, let me know in the comments below, and make sure to let me know how your collecting journey is going. Let me know if any of these tips were things that you were doing already prior to this video, or maybe you'll start engaging in after watching this video, or just whether you disagree. That would be interesting to hear as well. Guys, thank you so much for the support as always. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.